Here's an example of a pull-through welder beginning the welding process on a 3-plate assembly. Here you can see that the weld does not actually start right at the end of the assembly, and then also when it gets to the other side and the assembly fully pulls through the welder, it also terminates the weld a little bit early before it reaches the end. So this weld has to either then be done by hand or it can be done by a robotic welding machine. So we're going to show you how SlideRule has added some functionality in Tekla Structures to create those welds. Okay, so over here in Tekla Structures, we can see the result of this new feature in SlideRule. If I select on this leading edge weld here, you can see that it's a partial length polygon weld. And if I go over to the user-defined attributes here for the properties, we can see that weld user field 3 has an L in it for leading edge weld. And the reason why we're putting that there is so that way it can be filtered if required, and then you can easily find those and even generate a report if you need to of that. Now, the regular weld between the web and the flange, which is going to be done by the pull-through welder, just like we saw, if you have in DS Weld the weld note C to basically tell the robotic welder to ignore this because it's going to be done by the pull-through welder, then we can see that here in the user field 5. So for instance, with the AGT BeamMaster and the Cortex software, when weld user 5 has a C in it, then the Cortex software will ignore that. And here on this particular weld, it does not have that C, so that way the robotic welder can pick that up. Okay, to enable this, we basically add the leading weld length equals a particular length in inches that we want. And it'll put this on all 4 corners of the assembly. So the inside flange, the outside flange on the left, as well as the right end of the assembly. And if this is 0, then basically those leading edge welds will not be applied. And you can change that number to whatever you want in the length of inches, but it's going to be uniform on the top and bottom and the left and right at all 4 corners. And this leading weld length variable belongs underneath the weld options header here, similar to these other typical weld options that you can choose from. All right, so once you've got that all set, let's just quickly look at here how it's applied on all 4 corners. So you can see that on the inside and the outside flange, it's applied there. And then if we go up to the top, we should also see this on the other end. For additional training and setup and configuration of MBS SlideRule with Tekla Structures, please reach out to me at my contact information shown, and I'd be glad to help.